Hey everyone, so this is kind of a little bit funny one. I just had a thought, but I think a lot of people are familiar with the concept that there's a philosophy out there. It's just philosophical, but it's like, what if we're living in a simulation and not the what we think of as the real world? I mean, I think this becomes more possible for us to even posit because of where we're going with technology, our understanding of technology, our understanding of like diving into atoms and into quantum physics, and also diving into biology and seeing the code of life. It's like code of computers. I'll go into that another time. It absolutely fascinates me. So it leads us to think, well, what if this is all engineered? Like, we create games now, we create virtual reality that very quickly starts to feel real. And we think about all the things we're able to do in there. We can do magic. Think of games like simulation games or Sims. So where you're maybe building a civilization, or you're building an army, and you're having the little people build farms and build, foundries and things to, get their weapons and go out to war and beat the other side. It's like you're a god sitting there dictating what these little people in their little lives will do, and they're just a computer program. But we're stepping back and saying, well, look at how we work and how physics works. What if it's just a computer program that makes us think, us, the little people in the program, think that we are actually living in a reality? But actually, there's some advanced civilization that created all this, and we're just pawns in their game. A lot of people say we have to be designed. There's no way that this complexity evolved by accident. I believe in evolution, and I understand across vast amounts of time that very tiny changes can lead to much more complex structures and organisms. But at some point, it gets uncanny. It gets like somebody invented it. And that's when you go far in science, when you start digging and opening those boxes and going into more and more detail. Another thing I thought of the other day is the way that when you're playing a sim, you kind of instruct and you give commands to the little people to do certain things. And what do we have? We have scripts and writings like the Bible that give commands, that tell us how to live, that tell us what should be the right way to do things, what to do, what not to do. People get inspiration, people get, like a little bit of future vision, prophecies, and they say that it came from outside of them, it came from somewhere else. So this is another thing that happens in our reality that we can't really explain, that could be a game master, directing things in the game. Another concept is the concept of good and evil, right? There may be multiple players playing against each other, in which case, some camps of us little people are coached to be good and what's right and what's righteous and heroic and empathy and altruism. And then other camps kind of subscribe to get ahead at any cost. Lives don't matter. Other people's feelings don't matter. It's a different camp, and there's very much literature, poetry, and just thinking devoted to good versus evil. These two concepts that just are in our universe. So yeah, based on all that, there is this philosophy that we might be living in a just really good simulation. And us, the little people, are so well made that we actually have consciousness, we actually have some freedom, and it might be a test of the players to see if they can coerce us into achieving whatever, some kind of objective. So all of this, it's very fascinating, but it's just a thought experiment, basically, a philosophy that some people have put forward. It's very intriguing, and when we look around, we can sort of say, yeah, it could be possible. But this is the kind of tongue-in-cheek, maybe funny part. But I thought, you know what, every game I've ever played that's really immersive like that and that's complex, you end up hitting something called lag. You know, when you do your thing and then nothing happens and you wait and then suddenly it all gets unblocked and all the things happen at once, and it's very frustrating. If you're racing, if you're trying to do something accurately, it can be very frustrating. But I think something like lag doesn't happen in our world. So that might be one actually proof against that we are actually living in a simulation. Thanks for listening.